Reuters.
Justina Pawlak, Reuters. I was wondering whether Ukraine has actually specifically asked for assistance from NATO regarding the current situation, and what assistance would NATO be willing to provide, and for example, specifically to Ukraine, and would it have anything? Would NATO be willing to protect Ukraine's territorial integrity?
Ukraine has not requested any specific assistance. In today's meeting in the NATO-Ukraine Commission, we have reaffirmed our intention to further develop our partnership within the NATO-Ukraine Commission. We have an excellent practical cooperation with Ukraine when it comes to reforms of the defense sector. We appreciate that Ukraine contributes to all NATO-led military operations and contribute to the NATO response force. And today we reaffirmed from both sides that we stand ready to further develop that engagement.
German television.
Kai Niklas from German television, ZDF. Secretary General, you said you would urge Russia not to take any actions that could lead to misunderstanding. Are the exercises close to the Ukrainian border already actions that could lead to misunderstanding? Where would be the red line? This is my first question. And the second one is, are you glad that Ukraine and Georgia did not come to this step before NATO membership in 2008, when countries such as Germany and others kept them out and said it's not the time for the privileged membership?
This last part of the question is a bit hypothetical. I mean, realities are as they are. And we have excellent partnerships with both Georgia and Ukraine. As you all know, they have chosen different paths, different relationships with NATO. We fully respect that. It's their decision how they want their relationship with NATO to develop. As regards the Russian exercise, the Russians informed us about this exercise, and the Russians have made clear that this exercise has nothing to do with ongoing events in Ukraine.
One TV, Afghanistan, here.
Yesterday, in your doorstep remarks, you said that in this meeting, NATO will assess its gap in Afghanistan. What was the result of this assessment, and also NATO's weaknesses in the current mission on Afghanistan, and what NATO has not achieved that want to achieve in the resolute support mission in Afghanistan?
Our assessment of our ISAF mission is positive. We have achieved a lot of progress. We have built a strong Afghan security force, a level of around 350,000 Afghan soldiers and police. Since June last year, they have been in the lead of security responsibility all over Afghanistan. The Afghan security forces are growing stronger and stronger, and we feel confident that they can take full responsibility for the security by the end of this year as planned. So overall, our assessment is positive. However, we also believe that our continued assistance is needed, and this is why we have reaffirmed our commitment to a NATO-led training mission with the aim to train, advise, assist the Afghan security forces after 2014. We are ready. Obviously, we will need an invitation to do that, and I have commented on that already. So the decision we took today is twofold. On the one hand, we reaffirm our commitment to a resolute support training mission after 2014. But on the other hand, we also had to ask our military authorities to plan for alternatives, because we don't know yet whether an appropriate legal framework will enter into force, and we don't know whether we will get an invitation. So this is the reason why we had to take this twofold decision today. There's still a work to do, and there's still 10 months left of the ISAF mission, and we are still working with the Afghan security forces to further develop their capacity and their capability.
Kuwaiti News Agency.
Nawab Khan from the Kuwait News Agency. On another region, Mr. Secretary General, you will be traveling to Kuwait next week. Can you please tell us what is the purpose of your visit and the topics that you will discuss? Thank you.
I look very much forward to visiting Kuwait in the coming week. I will use that opportunity to mark the 10th anniversary of our Istanbul Cooperation Initiative. Kuwait is one of our partners, one of our 4 partners within the so-called Istanbul Cooperation Initiative. It was established 10 years ago in Istanbul. So this is an excellent opportunity to mark the 10th anniversary of this partnership. I will also discuss the joint NATO Istanbul Cooperation Initiative Regional Center that Kuwait has generously offered to establish. And I will see how NATO, Kuwait, and our other partners in the Gulf region can work together more closely.
NPR CBS.
Thank you, Terry Schultz with NPR CBS. Do you take Russia at its word that their readiness exercises have nothing to do with Ukraine? And if that were the case, wouldn't it have been the normal course that you would have been informed of them before yesterday? For example, with Steadfast Jazz, you even invited the Russians to come. So isn't that a little bit... aren't you skeptical of the idea that it has nothing to do with Ukraine? And secondly, when NATO says it will uphold the inviolability of borders and the territorial integrity, what does that mean Ukraine would actually have the right to ask for if it felt threatened, not being a full member of NATO, of course? Thanks.
First of all, we don't have any information that contradicts the information we have got from the Russian side. Having said that, obviously, it doesn't make things easier that there is a coincidence between the timing of this exercise and the ongoing events in Ukraine. As regards the wording in our declaration on full respect for sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity, this is actually not new language from our side. It is language you will find in the founding documents that established the NATO-Ukraine Commission. So we just used this opportunity to repeat what we said many years ago in our founding documents.
Japanese media.
Hi, it's Takashi with NHK Japan Broadcasting. Yesterday you mentioned Ukraine is the most important security issues in Europe. Understanding that, I would like to have a very simple question. How much is the NATO concerned about the possible Russian military intervention in that area?
We have no information indicating that Russia has any plans to intervene militarily. In my statement today, I have been very balanced and urged all parties on all sides to not take steps that can escalate the situation. On the contrary, we need steps that can cool down the whole situation. And that's a responsibility for all parties involved.
One last question, Itartas.
Itartas News Agency. Mr. Secretary General, a few days ago you have praised the Ukrainian army for staying neutral in the political conflict in this country. Is this position still consistent in the light of tensions in Crimea? Thank you.
I have no information indicating that the Ukrainian armed forces are involved or intend to be involved in the political crisis. On the contrary, the first Deputy Minister of Defence has just reiterated in the NATO-Ukraine Commission that it is a fundamental principle for the Ukrainian armed forces that they stay neutral. What we need is a political solution. What we need is a constructive dialogue. What we need is an inclusive political process in Ukraine.
Thank you very much indeed.